of looking after our mental health. Dr. Alex was recently appointed by Mr. Johnson as Youth Mental Health Ambassador for the government. Also, you will know him from his time on Love Island, obviously. He has been working in A&E throughout the pandemic and knows how difficult it is to grieve for a loved one in lockdown after his 19-year-old brother took his own life in July of last year. Dr. Alex, hello to you. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me.
No worries. I spoke to a head teacher and a mum earlier, and they said with all the children in England going back on March the 8th, they wanted there to be a focus on well-being as well as the academic side of things. How important do you think that is?
I think it's incredibly important. I think that reflects the conversations I've been having across the board with both parents, teachers, and of course, importantly, students as well. You know, children have been at home in a situation that no one would have ever expected them to experience, having to deal with, what they're seeing on the news, the media. Various children have their own, living situations that are challenging as well, of course. And all of this has an impact on their mental health. Of course, going back to school is vital, and I love education. I think it's such an incredible part of growing up and becoming an adult. And I want children to go back and enjoy their school. But doing it in a way where our focus in the first instance is around settling back at school, getting them back into routine, back into their friendship circles, and then kind of bringing the attention to academia is very important. A lot of the conversations I'm having, and certainly the conversations I'm going to have with government, is around how we can try and support children in this transition period, because it's not easy. Some kids will really relish going back to school. Others might find it more challenging.
Yeah. I get quite a lot of messages on Instagram from young teenagers who feel that because of the pandemic, they've missed out, almost as though a year of their life has been taken from them. They've missed out on various opportunities, and they are resentful, actually, and feel uncertain about what their future now holds. How can you help young people with that aspect?
I completely understand their frustration, and I feel very sorry for children in many ways, and not just students at colleges and schools, but also at university as well, because it's an incredible part of your life. And I think we need to listen and understand, first of all, and be there. A lot of children that I've spoken to actually just want people to say, I understand it's been a hard time. Let's hear your story. What are you feeling? What are you experiencing? So, in the first instance, in that kind of time going back to school, I think a lot of it is about just being there for kids, trying to support them through maybe what they've experienced. And I think a big part, externally, is that we need to make sure we're supporting schools and teachers in the way that they need as well. I know that we've, in the Green Paper a few years ago, it was announced that there'll be mental health support teams at schools. One of the things I'm calling for is that we make sure we roll that out as quickly as we can, so that actually schools can have support externally as well, because teachers done an incredible job, absolutely incredible. And I just want to make sure we're actually supporting teachers in doing that as well, because this has been an incredibly difficult time for them as well. Trying to teach kids at home, then trying to work out how you get them back, deciding how we deal with, the kind of educational needs that they need ongoing from now, having lost a huge amount of learning. It's a very difficult scenario. So we need to all kind of work together on this and put the child at the centre of everything. You
too have had a very difficult year because of the loss of your brother. How are you?
Thank you for asking. I'm okay. There's difficult days at times. And I think, every day it's hard. I wake up every morning and I kind of remember that, I don't have my brother anymore. And that's very hard. But that's what drives me, in this role, to try and help. I want to be a voice for young people. I want to make sure I beat that kind of drum and make sure that we're doing everything we can to support young people. Because ultimately, my brother didn't reach out and ask for help. He was a young man who had an incredible opportunity ahead of him, and he didn't ask for help. And to me, that is a clear indication. It's clearly obvious that the stigma around mental health still exists, because otherwise he maybe could have asked for help, and I hope he would still be here today. So I will, in my role, be, it's not just around trying to make changes and getting support. It's about breaking down that stigma as well. And I would say to anyone listening, parents and any children, of course, as well, that it's been an incredibly tough time. This year has been hard on everyone. I don't know anyone I've spoken to has gone, this year has been fine. So please do, if you are finding things tough, reach out, speak to people, talk to your teachers, talk to your parents, talk to your friends, because we care and we do want to help.
It's interesting that you say the stigma is still there around people discussing their own mental health or discussing their need for support for whatever reason, because progress has been made in recent years. There are many, many more conversations about mental health, aren't there?
Absolutely. I mean, the fact that I'm in this role, I think, is testament to the progress we've made, and I think we have to recognise that progress, but also know that we're on a journey where we're not there yet, and it's really positive, and that's why I want to be upbeat around this. And mental health is a space that is very exciting. I think learning about how to care for yourself, learning how to build resilience, learning how to be able to deal with life's challenges and tackle things that you come across in your life. I think that's a really positive thing. And I think for too long, the conversation around mental health has been far too negative. I think it should be a positive one. I love practicing self-care. Looking after myself allows me to do the things that I do. And I know it's a big part of who I am.
Very briefly and finally, Alex, you have been working in hospitals. What's it been like recently? Are things becoming slightly more manageable, would you say?
They are. I mean, I've worked in Lewisham throughout, and I think we've been one of the hardest hit hospitals. It's been really, really tough. And actually, over this Christmas, I was working. Well, I went in to help out over the Christmas days and stuff like that, and it was really bad. It was really tough and quite frightening, to be honest. Whereas now, I think we're very much back under control. We're heading in the right direction, and actually, I'm feeling really optimistic. This vaccine rollout is going really well, and I think we have clear light at the end of the tunnel now, and I think that lifts the mood of staff as well. It really does.
Thank you so much for talking to us this morning. Good luck in your role. Thank you. Cheers.
Thank you.
Dr. Alex George.